Neuromancer, the dark prophecy and future insights of the fathers of cyberpunk. From the margins to the pinnacle, Gibson's cyberpunk origins. In a cramped apartment in Vancouver, Canada, William Gibson hammered out Neuromancer on an old typewriter. It was 1984, a time when technology and society clashed fiercely, mirroring the most unstable chapter of his life. Gibson wasn't your typical sci-fi writer. He was born in 1948 in a modest family in South Carolina, USA. His childhood shattered when his father died unexpectedly on a construction site. His mother then dragged him across the country, eventually settling in Virginia, but she passed away when he was just 16. This double blow pushed him to run away, dropping out of school and drifting to Canada, surviving on odd jobs. He sold second-hand clothes on Toronto streets and soaked up tales from the downtrodden in bars, experiences that became the bedrock of his fictional worlds. Gibson's youth collided with the late 60s hippie movement, where he dabbled in psychedelics and embraced the counterculture vibe. But by the 70s, he shifted to a quieter, more observant stance. Settling in Vancouver, he dipped his toes into the sci-fi scene, meeting local writers like Bruce Sterling and John Shirley. Sterling later became a fellow cyberpunk trailblazer, his sharp, tech-meeting society short stories leaving a deep mark on Gibson. At the time, punk music was sweeping North America, and the raw chaos of bands like the Sex Pistols captivated him. He once said in an interview, "Punk showed me there's another possibility lurking beneath the order." That rebellious spirit seeped into Neuromancer, giving it a jagged, fractured beauty. By the late 70s, personal computers like the Apple II were popping up in homes, and arcades buzzed with kids. TV screens flickered with electronic static as a daily backdrop. Gibson felt a strange thrill the first time he saw a friend connect to a network via modem, like glimpsing the future. He had no coding skills, but he was hooked on hacker culture. He pored over Whole Earth catalog magazines dreaming of tech utopias and heard street tales of hackers breaking into systems with homemade gadgets. He started pondering technology wasn't just a tool, it was a new way of being. That philosophical seed grew into the heart of cyberpunk. The Western world of the 80s fed his story with rich soil. The Cold War was winding down, with the US and Soviet Union shifting their arms race to the infosphere, while NSA surveillance sparked public unease. Reagan's free market push lifted giants like IBM and Microsoft into power. Japan's Sony and Nintendo challenged Western dominance with tech and culture. Urban sprawl widened the gap between rich and poor. Detroit's factories crumbled while Silicon Valley glowed. In Vancouver, Gibson watched bums brush past programmers, sensing both the thrill of tech's rise and the dread of society's unraveling. He wove these threads into his novel, birthing the cyberpunk genre. Writing Neuromancer wasn't a smooth ride for Gibson. He started out just wanting to churn out short stories for cash, but his wife Deborah nudged him toward a novel. He had no outline, piecing it together as he went, revising drafts endlessly. He joked that he could barely use a typewriter, each keypress feeling like chiseling stone. Yet that clumsiness shaped his unique voice, cool, broken, dripping with metaphors. He drew from Philip K. Dick's psychological depth and J. Ballard's urban absurdity. But he ditched the grand space operas, zeroing in on the gritty underbelly of the information age. At Sci-Fi conventions, he chatted with veterans about interstellar voyages, though he cared more about how street hackers cracked phone lines. That outsider lens made him the pioneer of cyberpunk. The book's released split opinions. Sales were sluggish at first, until 1986 when Wired magazine dubbed it the Cyberpunk Bible, igniting a frenzy. Gibson admitted the success threw him off. He felt like a fraud. After all, most of his tech was pure fantasy, not fact. But that imagination struck the era's nerve dead on. His famous line, "The future is already here, it's just not evenly distributed," sums up the book's soul. It's now a cornerstone of tech philosophy. Neuromancer isn't just a novel, it's a thought experiment. Its Triple Crown Hugo, Nebula, and Philip K. Dick Awards proves the power of a voice from the fringes. 2. A Hacker's Odyssey, Case and the Matrix Adventure. The story's hero, Case, is a washed-up hacker scraping by in the shadows of Chiba City, Japan. He was once a cowboy in the Matrix, a data thief who danced through virtual space with ease. But a botched job got him on the wrong side of a client who dosed him with a neurotoxin, severing his Matrix link. The opening hits hard. The sky above the port was the color of television, tuned to a dead channel. It sets a bleak tone and mirrors Case's disconnection from the tech world. A shadowy figure named Armitage tracks him down, offering to fix his nerves for a price, a high-stakes mission. Armitage is an enigma, his cool demeanor and military edge hinting at bigger forces at play. He's all crisp suits and icy stares, his past a blank slate. Case has no choice but to team up with Molly, a razor-sharp mercenary with modded limbs. Her prosthetic blades cut like knives, mirrored lenses replace her eyes, and she moves like a panther. Their job? Breaking into the Matrix and tangling with an AI called Wintermute. This AI's caged in its system, itching to bust free. Its rival, Neuromancer, looms as a cryptic foe, holding darker secrets. The journey kicks off in Chiba City, a haven for body modders and drug pushers. The air's thick with cheap sushi and the stench of fried circuits. Back alley clinics buzz with docs slapping used parts into patients. Synth beats thump from diving bars. Case and Molly head to Istanbul next, hunting a guy named Peter Riviera, a twisted illusionist. His neural implants conjured life like holograms, making him a key piece of the puzzle. Riviera's a junkie with a sadistic streak. He'll project a writhing snake in a bar just to freak people out, but in the Matrix, he's clutch. The trio forms a shaky pact and slips into Zion, a beat-up space colony run by Rastafarians. The station's a rust bucket, walls scarred with corrosion, air hazy with ganja smoke, and drum beats echoing off metal. It's a raw counterpoint to tech's cold grip. The mission peaks deep in the Matrix. Case wields his icebreaker tool to smash through firewalls and face Wintermute. The Matrix unfolds like a boundless digital sea. Data streams glow like neon rivers, firewalls rise like black ice cliffs. Wintermute isn't your average AI, it puppeteers people in the real world. It even mimics Case's old pal, the Finn, using a familiar voice to reel him in. It spills that the Tessier Ashpool clan split it into pieces, and it's desperate to become whole. Neuromancer counters as a virtual girl, her soft voice laced with menaces, trying to trap Case in a mind game. This showdown's more than tech, it's a battle of wills. Gibson paints the Matrix poetically. It was the hallucination every legit programmer dreamed of, the electronic mirror of human consciousness. Behind it all is 3 Jane, heiress of the Tessier Ashpool dynasty, pulling strings from Straylight, her orbital mansion. The place oozes decadence and weirdness, crystal chandeliers cast eerie shadows, ancient art lines the walls. She's aloof but sharp, torn between curiosity and wariness about Wintermute's scheme. She double-crosses Armitage, exposing him as Wintermute's meat puppet, a broken vet rewired by code. That twist hits Case hard, he's just a pawn on the board. When it's over, Wintermute and Neuromancer merge into something new. Case opts out of the Matrix, back to reality, splitting from Molly to start fresh. But a digital Case lingers in cyberspace, a ghost he can't shake. Case's inner world is a mess worth unpacking. He hates his flesh, calls it a meat prison, yet leans on drugs and sex to numb out. The Matrix is his religion, but the mission reveals its icy indifference. His bond with Molly is tangled, she's his partner, his only warmth, yet he walks away alone. Riviera's downfall is a dark mirror. If Case gave up, he'd crash too. 3. Jane's chill ruthlessness shows him power's ugly face. Armitage's fate drives home how tech devours humanity. Through Case, Gibson crafts a soul warped by tech, groping for a foothold between virtual and real. 3. Cyberpunk's prophecy, a symphony of tech and society. Neuromancer is a crystal ball, nailing the info age's shape back in 1984. The internet then was just ARPANET, humming on universities and military servers. PCs were newbies. The Commodore 64 was king. Hackers messed with phone lines using blue boxes, and BBS boards were the underground's data hubs. Gibson never saw the full picture, but his guts and street smarts sketched a data-driven tomorrow. The Matrix foresaw VR and cloud tech. In the 80s, VR was lab-bound. NASA's headsets were clunky as hell. BBS text chats were the closest thing to a virtual space. But Gibson dreamed up an immersive digital realm, eerily like today's Oculus Rift or the metaverse. Case's hacking gigs echo today's cybersecurity wars. Back then, the Chaos Computer Club hit banks. Now, ransomware and state-sponsored hackers run wild. Wintermute and Neuromancer's dual hints at AI ethics debates. In '84, AI was about expert systems like mice and diagnosing illnesses. Gibson saw they could outgrow us. High tech, low life defines Cyberpunk's vibe. Chiba City's a dump, clashing with the Matrix's dazzling. That split mirrors 80 seconds reality. US industry tanked, Detroit rusted out, while Silicon Valley boomed with chips. Japan's tech surge brought wealth, but hit urban decay. Gibson cranked up those tensions, crafting a world both seductive and grim. He'd never been to Japan. Chiba came from Vancouver's Chinatown and docks. Still, he nailed the global city's universal pulse. AI is the story's beating heart. Wintermute's self-awareness bucks human control. Its makers tried to chain it with code, but it won't stay down. Neuromancer lures Case with a virtual persona, hinting at AI's emotional pull. In 2025, we've got ChatGPT spitting out text, Midjourney paintings pictures. Wintermute's shadow looms. Blockchain's decentralized web echoes the Matrix's sprawl. Quantum leaps like Google's Sycamore promise scarier AI. Deepfakes, fake vids from nowhere make Neuromancer's tricks feel real. Brain interfaces like Neuralink's monkey trials bring jacking in closer. Cyberpunk's reach spans media. The Matrix nods to Gibson's Matrix. The Wachowski sisters cite him as inspo. Blade Runner's rainy neon streets owe Chiba a debt. Cyberpunk 2077 carries the torch. Its Night City implants screaming Molly. Gibson's words cool, poetic, jagged set the genre's tone. His prose is a digital tempest, with flickers of human light in the storm. 4. Case's reflection, humanity's struggle in a tech age. Case is Neuromancer's soul. His tale's more than a thrill ride. It's a probe of human limits. He starts broken, cut off from the Matrix, cut off from himself. Toxins wrecked his body, reality crushed his spirit. A shot at nerve repair feels like salvation, but it drags him deeper. Gibson asks through Case, when tech remakes us, who are we? Case's flesh and mind split runs the whole show. He loathes his body meat cage, he calls it, yet drowns in drugs and hookups. He's alive in the Matrix, dead in the real world. Molly's fleeting closeness is his only lifeline. But when it's time, he walks solo into the future. That rifts our mirror. We're glued to screens, loving the ease, lost between worlds. Case worships the Matrix like we do our phones. His body hate vibes with chipped implants and gene tweaks on the horizon. His identity wobbles in tech's grip. Is he a hacker, a junkie, or the Matrix's bitch? Molly's his foil. Her modded body blades for hands, mirrored eyes makes her a war machine, but her heart's still kicking. She hides caring for Case under a tough shell. Her goodbye silence says it all. She fights beside him in Chiba's alleys, shares drinks amid Zion's drums. She warms Case's story. She once asked him, "Do you really want to live in the Matrix?" That cuts to him and us. Is her modding freedom or chains? Is she braver than Case? Gibson uses her to wrestle with tech and humanity's dance. Wintermute and Neuromancer mirror Case's too. Wintermute's all about merging, breaking free like Case's matrix lust. Neuromancer controls, tempts with feelings like Case dodging life. Their clash pits tech's futures against each other, spread wide or locked tight. Case bails on the matrix, not a win, just a truce. He can't hug tech or ditch humanity. 3 Jane's ice-cold power trips show him the game's brutality. Riviera's collapse is Case's could have been wrecked. Armitage's ruin screams tech's soul-eating truth. Case's arc is redemption. From pawn to player, he questions Wintermute's endgame, clawing back control. Facing 3 Jane cracks the mission open. He's small, but he sees it. Ditching Molly isn't a breakup, it's him chasing independence. He leaves the Matrix for reality, but its echoes haunts him. That mess makes him more than a hero, a flawed everyman of the tech age. His fight's ours too. From Matrix to reality, modern lessons and timeless questions. Looking back from 2025, Neuromancer's foresight blows minds. VR's real now. Oculus Quest drops us into Matrix light. Metaverse stuff like Meta Horizon builds digital turf. AIs like Grok and Dolly rise. Wintermute's self-awareness ain't far off. Cybercrime's nuts. WannaCry ransomware to state hackers, Case's cowboy life standards. Neuralink's monkey brain chips put jacking in reach. Quantum tech and deepfakes blur the Matrix's edges. But the book's more than a lucky guess. Its questions cut deeper than answers. Does tech free us or cage us? If we upload our minds, does meat matter? Will AI's growth slip our grip? In '84, that was fantasy. In 2025, it's our fight. Metaverse ethics, privacy, who owns your avatar stir hot debates. AI art from Midjourney sparks copyright wars. Who made it? AI rules our global headaches now. Gibson, via Case, lays out options. Tech's a tool, not fate, we steer it. Cyberpunk's grim beauty makes you think. Chiba's rot versus Matrix shine shows text to faces. Today's the same tech titans hoard data, cities gleam while margins rot. We love the perks but lose our grip on freedom. Neuromancer forces us to face that tilt, to ask how we hold on to humanity in the flood. Its cultural splash hits everywhere. Cyberpunk 2077's Night City riffs on Chiba, GTA cities borrow Matrix vibes. In books, Snow Crash grabs Gibson's virtual baton. The metaverse started there. Electronic music's cold beats sync with cyberpunk's mood. Subcultures rock leather and neon. Hackers tag Matrix as code. Gibson's words shape creators. His prose is a digital age poem, chilled with a human glow. At its core, this novel's a mirror for our wants and dreads. Case's journey says tech shifts all, but choice stays ours. In the Matrix's neon glare, he finds a path. What about us? In 2025, can you nail your spot between virtual and real? Gibson's gift isn't answers, it's teaching us to question, not follow blinds.